is that the Detroit Tigers finally won a ball game.
Yippee. So here's my question for you, Mr. Optimist. When do the Tigers get out of this free-for-all?
Well, one game at a time, Terry. One game at a time. Yesterday
have
was
a sense?
no. Honestly, when their effort picks up, because that's been my biggest bitch. Even last week, we talked about it when I was filling in. After Torkelson was walking towards the ball, after they were sliding and missing bases, after the right fielder couldn't even put it on a dot throwing home from maybe mid-right field, just making high school throws. Once I see the max effort again, I'll start believing. It's tough. I mean, I know Carpenter needs to come back. I think that may spark something, but it's going to need to be some defining moment, a grand slam walk-off, a hit and run that works for a ninth inning win. Something has to happen to spark that momentum again, and I haven't seen it yet. And I don't think this one last game against Toronto is really enough, because we'll find out today.
Well, we'll find out today, tomorrow, Wednesday.
Right.
This has got to be a sustained thing.
But the thing is, when I was in here last week filling in, the line that kept getting fed to me by KG and Neil was, well, they were the first to 40 wins. Well, they were the first to 50 wins. Well, they were the first to 60 wins. And I should have done some more research. Because if you go back and look at, the last 45 games, I think they're 21 and 24.
Yeah, correct.
That's a large sample size of losing baseball over 40-plus games. And they wanted to focus so much on this stretch. I should have gone bigger picture on them, but then they can double down and go bigger picture on me. Well, we're still leading the division by... So, this is how debates go, right?
All of you. Baseball is a weird sport. Do you know what team played 500 ball for 120 games? The Detroit Tigers of 1984. So they go 35-5. They basically play 500 the rest of the season and then win the World Series.
Yeah, and that's it. Just getting hot at the right time, right? I think we've all talked about that in this room. We're okay with the lull now if they get hot later. And luckily they built themselves a big enough lead. But my gut going into this season was they didn't do enough. That they were hoping to catch lightning in a bottle 2 seasons in a row. Out the gate, they did. But now, reality is kind of setting back in. And I don't know if they got enough in them to be able to do it again. Because I'm still, I was ready to admit I was wrong. But now I'm maybe I wasn't so wrong.
Well, here, I want to challenge you with something. We always have this debate. Should the Tigers sign Tarik Skubal to a 10-year, $400 million deal?
Yes, they should.
He's not going to be good in year 7, 8, or 9. But here, I want to flip this. Tarik Skubal has a 1.86 ERA the last 5 games. He's given up 1 home run. He's pitched 3 of the 5 games without giving up a run. So my question is, Tarik Skubal, why would he want to come back here? Because even though the Tigers are in the free fall, Chris Illich and Scott Harris are saying, we're good. We're not going to do anything major. The Yankees, you can do your thing. Red Sox, go ahead, do your thing. Cubs, everybody, do something. We're going to stay the course because we don't want to block anybody. I hate that. Aren't you supposed to play the best people? Now, I'm going to show my age, but I don't give a damn. It used to be, if you're a baseball team, you put your best players in the starting lineup. If you weren't good enough to be in the starting lineup, you were backup. If you weren't good enough to be the backup, you're in the minor leagues. Now the Tigers are saying, we don't want to block anybody. Ooh. That, to me, is ignorant. Or stupid.
They're still trying to figure it out, right? And that's the perplexing part about this team is that playoff run last year kind of expedited expectations. You didn't expect that to come last year, but now that they made the playoffs last year, they sure as hell better make the playoffs this year. And now that they went on this start, They better make the playoffs this year, and the system's working in that aspect, right? Like, they are naturally progressing, so you do want to give this natural time for these guys to come up and fulfill their whole skill set without bringing in guys that kind of dumb them down. So, like, I understand that philosophy, but I also understand we're in first place. You're not here often. You better win now.
Hey, Sticky,
like,
that is cute, but if you can bring in a piece or two that can put you in better position to win a World Series, isn't that what this is about?
Yeah, but right now, it looks like you need more than a piece or two.
Yeah,
I mean, right now, it looks like you have one starting pitcher, and that's it.
Well, if you look at the last 2 weeks, this has been the worst team in baseball.
Right. So you need more than one or two pieces, and if it was just one piece, yeah, we're all in.
But we know there's somewhere between the best team in baseball and the worst team in baseball.
Fair.
Right.
Is that fair? Right.
Yes.
Great analysis.
And they're going to be a playoff team. They're not going to miss the playoffs.
Shit, they
So,
better not.
with that said, you evaluate your roster. You saw what you did in the playoffs last year. You saw what happened during this 13-game thing, skip, which may not be over, by the way. And then you evaluate, say, okay, who's out there that can help us? Oh, there's a guy named Suarez who used to be in our organization.
Coming in town.
And he's begging to come back.
That's true. I mean, if the Tigers did trade for him, it might be a rental type situation. But overall, I don't think, like, they'll go out and do something. I just don't know if it's going to be the big name everybody wants. And that's the real issue.
Here's the thing. They may not do anything.
Well, wasn't it the
No,
Yankees
they
also
have
looking
to
at
do
Suarez? And I think
Yankees
they
are no longer interested.
But they bowed out, right?
They got McMahon.
Hey,
from
you think the
Yeah.
Tigers won't do nothing, Jack, at all?
I
at the
think there's a
deadline?
good shot they won't do anything.
They have to do
Dude,
something.
this town will riot.
Yeah, no. You have the best lead of any division leader in all of baseball.
I know,
You still
but-
have to make a move
But
regardless.
here's where we've been brainwashed. The Tigers and Chris Ilitch have told us we are a small market here in Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't compete with these guys financially.
That's such bullshit.
Right.
It is horseshit.
But I expect a small market move, hopefully somebody that will help the team, but it won't be the big name. Like Eugenio Suarez, I think that's out of the picture at this point. But we'll see.
Should it be?
No. It shouldn't.
Lem's
All right,
31.
we had a little thing.
Huh?
I let Emu Limu over here. I gave him some gators. I gave him some
What?
gold. I gave him some gold rims. I gave him a chariot.
Yep.
And I said, "You're in charge of the Tigers. You own the Tigers. What would you do? Would you do something?"
Well, my first move would be to sign Skubal to a long-term deal. But if you're not going to do that, I have a very limited window with the best pitcher on God's green earth. I would try and push my chips in, especially considering the playoff run last year and what you did to start the season this year. It appears like your young talent is elevating, and I would add more to that, even if it's a rental.
So you'd
But
be active.
I'd be an aggressive GM, yes.
Okay.
But
What if I were the co-owner with you,
okay.
and I said, "Limu, we're not going to do anything. We're going to stand pat." What would you tell me?
Well, listen here, sweetheart. We would have a lot
Oh.
of fallout conversations because I'm
so you'd
trying
be mad
to,
at me?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Okay.
Because you got to strike when the iron is hot. We don't know how bad the AL Central is going to be going forward, but we know this year is horrible. So I would try and strike while the iron is hot.
Okay. And I like that you'd be mad at me.
Yeah.
You
Got-
should be.
People are addressing you in the chat, Terry, talking about the platooning. Lems 31M, zero understanding of platoon splits / new Tigers baseball. This isn't a slow pitch team with 9 starters anymore. And then Crazy Clown kind of doubles down on that. Understanding splits and platooning is also necessary these days because of the lack of development in youth baseball. Little leagues aren't the same anymore.
Okay. Here's what I will say to that, dorks. is you
Top 5 dorks.
This is not a 500 team. This is not a team fighting the Chicago White Sox to stay out of last place in the division. This is a team based on a 162 game sample size. That's a big one, right? That's a whole season.
Yeah.
That has said this team is amongst the best in baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now this town that hasn't seen a World Series victory since 1984
Yep.
is entitled to compete for a championship, rather than okay, let's not block the young guys. Let's play cute. No, fuck that. Your job is to win. You can't guarantee winning the World Series, but your job is to put yourself in position to win a World Series. You don't worry about young guys coming up. You don't worry about guys who are not good enough to be in the lineup. We're worried about guys batting .230. We're worried about guys hitting 1 or 2 home runs. We're worried about guys playing in Toledo. Your focus should be on winning.
But haven't they put themselves in a position? I mean, they were the best team in baseball.
Yeah,
they were up 8. They're still up 8 games. They were up 15. So like that's where it kind of gets murky if you're the lead dog and trying to figure out how to do this. Because wait, we have the talent. I've seen it when it's clicking, but now it's not quite working. So we need a spark. Is that spark a new player, or will that fuck up the clubhouse?
Well, even before this slump happened, I was listening to all the people out there. They still said the Tigers need a bat, a right-handed bat. Correct?
Yeah.
Am I wrong on that?
Well, you can always say that in baseball.
And
congrats.
They
so
need
do the Dodgers.
Relief pitching. And then what kind of snuck in underneath was, need a starting pitcher too. So now even the fans who are all gung-ho behind the Tigers are saying they need at least 3 players to finish this out. I'm not sure if you need 3 players, but I will say this. While you're sitting on your ass, eating ho-hos, and thinking you got a championship team, guess what? The Yankees are going to do stuff to get better.
Yeah.
The Cubs, well, they're not in your league, but the Texas Rangers, Houston, everybody, maybe I shouldn't say the Texas Rangers, but Houston, the Yankees.
Shit, Kansas City below 500, they are buying.
Right.
They trying
Kansas
to get
City, they're going to try to get in there, and they're going to try to trump it.